Welcome back to another edition of the Pitch Putt Puff podcast. My name is Roger, aka RGB. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Before we get into our guest this evening, just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, 420 Bliss, located at 740 Hoosick Road, right up in Troy, New York. With 420 coming up, make sure you go in there, check them out. Everything you're looking for: flowers, pre-rolls, edibles, tinctures, vapes, disposable vapes, you name it, they got it. Pretty much all your cannabis needs. So check them out right up at 740 Hoosick Road. You don't feel like leaving the house, make sure you check out the website www.420bliss.com. They have a delivery service as well. Also want to give a shout out to Trouble Off the Tee. Check out the dope hat, the Lincoln Ross edition. Shout out to Marty and company over there. Dope book. Make sure you check that out on Spotify. But with TroubleOffTheTee.com, you can use promo code RGB for 15% off site wide. And then we got a special going for a limited time. It's a BOGO on the polos. Buy one, get one free on the polos. So you can use promo code PUFF and get yourself a buy one, get one free polos. Really great quality polos, nice dry fit material. Have one right here to go along with the Trouble Off the Tee hat. Got the two-tone joint right here. Hopefully I'll be putting this on real soon if Mother Nature allows. But take another quick little break and we'll get into our guest. Welcome back to the Pitch Putt and Puff podcast. I'm going to be introducing our guest here this afternoon. We're going to be bringing in Paul from Custom Stix. What's up, my man?
What's up, man?
Appreciate you coming out. Been checking out your page a little bit, seen you done some work with our guys over at Legends. That's what actually caught my eye. We were just talking about the sneakers and the Jordans, and that was like, oh man, some of these are fresh. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about Custom Stix and yourself and how you got into golf and all that?
Yeah, man. So like as far as like getting into golf, I grew up like in the retail world, man. So like my whole past career was retail management. So one of the jobs I had was at Adidas. And I worked down in Carlsbad. So TaylorMade headquarters is like down the street.
Okay.
At the time, the extent of my golf experience was going out with my buddies. They would invite me to these scramble tournaments. I was the type of dude like I'll go drink and tell me which iron to hit because I have no idea.
Yep. I don't know what this does. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
go
I
for
don't
the
know what
shot.
like we're 140 out. What do I hit, man? I have no idea.
Yep.
So anyway, through Adidas and TaylorMade, one of the things they wanted me to do when I got hired was create a good partnership with TaylorMade, right? So I'd go over there like once a week, introduce myself to other people, different people, and eventually they're like, "Hey, man, if you golf, why don't you come and pick out some clubs?" So I was like, "Well, I might as well, right?" So I went, got some. I think it was R9s at the time, R11,
Okay.
something like that.
Yep.
That was my first set. So I remember I went home that day. I looked up like kind of what they were about, and I was like, "Oh shit, they're worth like quite a bit of money, man. Maybe I should start getting out there." So that was the beginning, man. And I started golfing with my assistant manager actually at the time, and we started basing our schedule around golf. Like it was like, hey man, like you want to go in at 6 in the morning so we can get off by 2, and catch a twilight.
Yep.
And then it was like, hey man, what day off do you want? We'll kind of try to schedule it together, and we would knock out 36 holes in a day, man.
Oh,
It
that's
became like
awesome.
it became an addiction, man. That never went away.
Yeah.
That
And that's
never
what it
went
is
away.
too.
So,
It's one of those things like where you can always get better at something. So you're just
uh-huh.
gonna keep practicing and keep working at it. And it's one of those things too where if you get out there and you get good, it becomes addicting. Or if you're not good,
Oh
it becomes
yeah, man.
addicting because you want to get good. So
Exactly, man.
it,
Sometimes I miss those days where I was shooting in like the 110s, 120s because it was like you'd have just one good shot and it's still like that to this day. I
oh
mean, you
yeah.
can have a bad round and then end with a birdie or vice versa, and it's like, all right, I got to get back out there and either get my game right or I'm
Yep.
feeling real good, so I want to get out there real quick.
That actually happened to me last year. I shot 2 rounds last year in the hundreds. One was early in the year, so I don't ever really count that one getting loose. But later in the year, I shot like a 101. I was just
Hmm.
all spraying the driver all over the place. And
Yeah.
the last hole, I birdied. I'm like, yo, seriously? Like, at least I can go home on a positive note, but I'm still gonna be pissed. I
Yeah.
shot a buck and change, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, damn. But yeah, man,
Yeah.
that's craziness. So tell
But
us a
yeah,
little bit
man.
about the custom sticks, man, and what you guys do over there.
Yeah, so honestly, it started as a. It was just supposed to be extra cash on the weekends, man. Like I'm a father of four,
Okay.
so we had three, and then we kind of had a surprise fourth. And during that time, we kind of lost my our babysitter. My mom like has some health issues, so we were like, well, we can't, there goes our babysitting. So I kind of became a stay-at-home dad like during that little time,
Yep.
and it was driving me crazy, dude. So I was like, I mean, it was a blessing being with them and everything, but
Sure.
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
man. Being stuck in the house all day, no doubt.
yeah, I'm like, I need some adult interaction. So anyway, it was like I'm just gonna start like see if anyone in the neighborhood, wants some regrips done, stuff like that. And I did like an add-on offer up, a little Facebook group within the community, and I got some traction. And I'm like, huh, that's pretty cool. And then one of my buddies was like, hey man, why don't you start an Instagram? And then I have a buddy who I grew up with who's one of the professionals at a country club around here, Redlands
Okay.
Country Club. He's like, hey man, why don't you come? You can learn, a few more things if you want to kind of grow the business. So I was like, yeah, man, might as well. So one thing led to another. I learned how to reshaft and everything like that, and now it's become, I do everything, from repairs to reshafts, club bending, anything that under the category of repairs I do.
Yep.
And then along with the custom stuff, I actually got in contact through Instagram with Larry from 32 Customs. I don't know if
Yeah,
you've seen him,
I
but
just talked to him not too long ago as well. Yep.
yeah, dude. So he between him and I, he contacted me and he's like, "Hey man, I like what you're doing. Like this is what I do. Maybe we can partner up." And one thing led to another, man, and it just like we talked yesterday and we're like, "Dude, it's been a year since then."
Okay.
And it's like, dude, it's crazy the way things have blown up. And then once I got a canopy and started setting up at these events, it's like this golf community just like you meet so many people and a lot of small ball businesses within the golf community. It's like, hey man, like I got this hookup, you got that one, let's work together, and it's like a snowball effect.
Yeah, and that's the
It's
thing. What
really
is
cool,
cool?
man.
What is cool about the golf community, like especially what I see out there with you guys and Legends, Custom Rag, all the whole crew. You
Yeah.
know,
Hmm.
it's everybody's always working together. Like I sit up here freezing my ass off looking at Instagram videos, and it's like all you guys hanging out. I'm like, man, I
Yeah.
got to make a trip. Like next year, I'm coming out there in February, no
Yeah, you
doubt.
need to come out, man. Yeah.
No doubt. My plan is to come out in the fall right now, but I'd like to
Okay.
make a mid, like a winter trip too, just because of the shitty weather up here.
Yeah, man, we'll take care of you.
Yeah, man. I'm
If
excited
you
to
need
get out
anything
there.
custom, man, bring your clubs and we'll knock it out, man.
I'm definitely bringing the clubs out there for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, because I seen like you guys do. Larry hooked me up. He just made me some. What are they called? The fair rules? Is that what they're
The
called?
ferals, uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yep.
ferals. Yep. He made me a couple customs of those. I gotta put my
Hmm.
order in there. Um, but yeah, I seen those. Those are. I mean, that's something I never even seen before. Like,
You it's crazy. To be completely honest with you, I had golfed what probably 12 years before I even started this, right? And I golfed with the same grips for 10 years before I even thought about switching them.
yeah.
And once I did, I'm like, oh damn, these are like new clubs, man. Like why don't people do this?
Mm-hmm.
So then I realized that people actually do. It just I was never introduced to it. And then when someone messaged me like, "Hey man, can you?" And this was like before Instagram.
Yep.
This was through OfferUp, I think. Like, "Hey man, do you change ferrules?" I Googled ferrule. I'm like,
Okay.
"What the hell is he talking about, dude?" So like, I Googled it. And I'm like, "Okay, that's cool, man." So I was like, you know what? Let me get back to you in a couple weeks. I learned the process, man, and I'll be honest, man. The first time I took that club apart, I was nervous
Yeah.
because I was like, I better build this thing up right.
Well, that's what I said to
So
him. I said, "How do I put these on? Like, I don't know if they
yeah.
like click around it or whatever. You know,
Yeah,
because it's sticking out
I
of there."
wish.
Yeah. He's like, "Nah, you can just unscrew it." I'm like, "I can bring it to a pro shop then." He's like, "Yeah, you can just bring it to because
Yeah.
up here in New York, I'm obviously not
Hmm.
gonna have be able to get my clubs down there and stuff." But yeah, there's a lot of
Right.
shit that like you can do some cool shit with your clubs, but people don't realize the stuff you can
Oh
do.
man, you can do some cool stuff, man. And I think like the whole custom movement, like people want to stand out, people want to make it their own. Like, hey man, these are the only clubs in the world basically that have this on there in their mind. You know what
Yep.
I mean? So, and then and we were talking about like the whole Jordan thing.
Yeah.
That whole era, man, is just it's all custom, man. Like, hey, man, can you make this and can you make that? So yeah, man, it's cool. And then you paint the clubs. This dude actually, one of my customers, he just started golfing, dude, like 3 months ago. He came to me with this box set. You buy the bag, everything, right? For like
Yeah.
$300. He's like, "What do you think of these?" And I'm like, "They'll do the job. You're probably gonna grow out of them real quick,
Right.
but they'll get the job done as far as learning the game. And when it's time to upgrade, this and that." Before he even swung those clubs, he had me paint them. He had me put like matching grips. He's like, "What else can I do? Like, can I do a matching shaft?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, like whatever you want." He customized the whole thing. 2 weeks later, I kid you not, he comes back. He bought some brand new 790s. He wanted to customize those. Then he comes back a couple weeks later, brought a brand new QI10.
Yeah.
And then last week, he's like, "Hey, man, like, you know anyone that needs this putter?" And I'm like, "What happened? Like, what is it?" He's like, "I got a Scotty." I'm like, "Oh my God, dude." But
Damn.
that's the thing. Like, once you get into it, it's an addiction, man. And there
Yeah.
are worse addictions out there.
Oh
But
yeah.
you
And
know what
it's
I mean? It's good.
absolutely, and it's like the sneaker. It's like the sneaker game. Like we're
Yeah.
pretty much we're talking the same age, grew up, the Jordans and everything else. Like
Hmm.
once you get into it, you're into it. You're collecting the sneakers. Like I've had
Yeah, man.
all the way up
Yeah.
from I think I started with the fives and worked my way
Hmm.
up from there back in the day. Wore the
Yeah.
Concords for the wedding, the whole 9 yards. So
Hmm.
it's and the same thing with golf clubs. Like now that I know I can go put Jordan grips on my clubs, like you already know, like it's happening. So
Yep.
absolutely, because there's certain shit.
Yeah,
Like I
man.
was telling you, like if I show up to the golf course with some elephant print grips, everybody's gonna be like, "Yo, where'd you get those? Where'd you get those? Where'd you get those?" And that's how it
Exactly. Yeah.
snowballs.
Yeah, it does, man. Yeah, you just get the word out there, man, and a lot of the customers like that I have now, like I have a lot of return customers like within the area now, which is great, man. And then I have it's I would say 70% word of mouth. The other 30 is probably Instagram. If Instagram might be higher than that because Instagram's just crazy, man. You're like you throw out a cool reel and it just spreads like wildfire.
It's crazy. It literally is
Yeah,
nuts. So, like my story,
yeah.
like with the podcast,
Hmm.
I wasn't taking this too serious. I play with 8 guys every Sunday. I was pretty much just bullshitting with them and kind of
Yeah,
like having one of them on here and there, talking shit about our round and stuff. But then, like, golf ended for us in December. I kind of took December off, and then January came, and it was to decide, all right, am I going to take this serious, or what are we going to do with this? And I started
yeah,
interviewing people. I had 140 followers at Christmas. I'm up
yeah,
to just about 1,600 now, and it's like
yeah.
just the process of just slow, like posting reels, tagging a couple
Hmm.
people, just getting extra looks, and all of a sudden, I remember when it started like going like when I got around 300, all of a sudden like 2 days later it was like 800, and my
Yeah,
phone like
man.
notifications wouldn't stop. I'm like, and it was one reel I had that just caught a little bit of smoke, and then
Hmm.
a couple more, and then the guest hours getting on was starting to spread, and I'm like, holy shit! And I was, now I'm sitting back and I'm like, oh, this is starting to turn into something. So I got to
Yeah, man.
kind of how the same way you thought.
No,
I'm just
it's yeah.
I'm gonna do just hang out. I'm not even looking to do it for extra cash, but now it's starting to actually
Hmm.
turn into like a business for me. And I'm like,
It's
okay,
hey,
let's see
man,
what
and you know what?
happens.
It feels good to do it organically like that
Yep.
because this custom sticks, like I didn't even have a name for it. Obviously, I would just regripping clubs for the neighbors, and then once the Instagram thing kind of started going, and then man, I don't even remember how it happened, but I think my wife and I were talking one day. It's like, hey, why don't we call it something, right? And it's man, I was like, I spent so many nights like messing with a logo, messing with a name. Oh, that name's taken. So we came up with this one. Then we made a little circle logo, which was cool. I just went on one of those websites, like logo website, free
Yep.
thing, whatever. And then it was like, and then we printed some hats. And I was like, dude, people actually want these? Like that's cool,
Yep.
like just as a support thing, they want, like, hey, let me support your brand. So then it turned into this, and I worked with I don't the rapper Young Drummer. He's heavily in the golf game. Look him up, man. Like
Okay.
he's
I'll definitely
and
check them
he
out.
he's on. We've collaborated on some reels. But I contacted his dude. He got me like a legit logo.
Nice.
And then yeah, man, shout out to him, man, because he's like we talk about the followers growing and stuff, and first it was like that Jordan reel, the very first Jordan reel I put up there, that caught absolute fire.
Yep.
So I got a lot of followers from that. Then when I connected with young drummer, and we've created a pretty good partnership. Um, him just reposting my stuff. He's got like 200,000 followers.
Yep.
Um, just him reposting it, and that's the whole networking thing, right?
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey man, I like what you do." Like, and he golfs some like 5 days a week, bro. No joke.
Yep.
He
That's what I
invites me
do
in.
up
I'm
there.
like, bro, I can't do that. Like, I wish I could, but anyway, like once he started reposting my stuff, there goes another like it shot up again. And then it's Mike with Legends,
Yeah.
and we've kind of grown together, like up, and creating the partnerships like 3-2 Customs, Legends Golf Club, and then these other golf clubs. I work with MAGA Group. It's called Mexican American Golf Association.
Okay.
They're another one. Like between MAGA and Legends, I set up for both of them like once a month
Oh,
at their
nice.
tournaments. Yeah, so and I play here and there when I can. If it's a smaller tournament, I'm like, hey man, let me just play this time.
Yeah. Right. Let me
So
just get out there.
yeah,
Yeah.
man, because I enjoy like being out there, but I'm like, man, I wish I could swing the club.
Yeah. He came
So
on last night with Thick Gabagool. I don't know if you know Thick Gabagool. He's
yeah, I think I've seen
if
him
you
or we follow each other or something.
yeah, if you met him just by
Uh-huh.
my experience with him last night, I got a feeling you would remember who he is. He's a
Okay.
character for sure. He's a
Okay.
great
Yeah.
dude. But he also has I forget the name of it off the top of my head, but he's got a golf club he's starting. So or on professional
Mhm.
golfers or something like that, I think it is.
Okay.
But yeah, he was on last night, and that's the cool thing about it. Like what he said was going to his first experience with the Legends guys, the
Hmm.
camaraderie of everybody, just getting
Oh
along, and
yeah,
like,
man.
and you can tell when you're seeing it and like networking, like seeing Omar over there with his truck all set
Yep.
up, and then you guys got the tents around. Like it's so dope. Like the atmosphere of those events just looks so cool and
Oh, it
laid
is,
back
man.
and just a good time.
It is. That's exactly what it is. It's cool. It's laid back. It's a party, um, and it's good golf too, and it's for everybody.
Yep.
Like there are some sticks out there. Like don't get me wrong, but there are a lot of beginners too. Like I had a customer hit me up like, "Hey man, do you know any golf clubs that we're just starting out to be on?" I'm like, "Dude, join Legends. Like
Yeah.
join one of these, even the local golf clubs. It's for everybody.
That's it.
That's why you throw the handicap in there so everyone gets a shot."
It's so crazy. So
So.
what events are you going to be at coming up? I know there's always something going on out there.
Yeah, so I think I have 11 events this month, starting with tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow we have a Raiders event, man. It should
Sick.
be pretty dope. I'm a Raider fan, so like
Okay.
this dude, like every event I go to, there's someone like, hey man, I have an event here, I have an event there. So it's like you book as you're there. But
Yep.
this Raider event, it's sponsored by Woodson Whiskey, Charles
Okay.
Woodson.
Yep. Yep.
They have like 12 NFL players, former NFL Raiders. Mellow Man Ace is going to be there. He's an artist, and we've got a couple of influencers, so it should be a
That's
good
sick.
time, man. Yeah, it should be a
That's
good time.
dope.
And then I got a Legends event this month. I just talked to Mike. They sold out, so
Yeah,
I
the
think they
420
have.
event, right?
Yeah, man, they have two
Yeah.
groups on every hole.
That's sick.
So and those are fun, man, because we have the entire course.
Yeah. Yep.
And then I got a MAGA event. I have a couple of local events here at Tuckwit. It's the course I live by here, and that's
Okay.
kind of like my local course.
Gotcha.
But yeah, man, I got a lot, and then I have some events out in LA, some celebrity events, so should be fun, man.
That's what's up.
Yeah, celebrity events. We've got some big names coming out, man. Like we got just off the top of the head, like we've got De La Hoya coming out,
Oh shit.
Fernando Valenzuela,
Yeah. Yeah.
some former Lakers, some former like news broadcasts out here. So yeah, man, it's fun, man. It's fun, just kind of like golf brings everyone together, man.
It
Like
does.
music artists, uh, movie stars, as of course, former athletes. Like
Yep.
it's like it's cool, man, because it's like everyone's on an even playing field.
Yeah. Absolutely. And
And
what's cool for you is that those guys getting the eyes on what you're doing because you know there's going to
yeah,
be some former NBA guys going to come strolling through and he's going to see
yeah,
the elephant print grips or one of the Jordan
mm-hmm,
things you do and he's like, oh, I got to get those, and that's gonna
yep,
they're all his golf buddies. Boom, boom, boom. It really
exactly.
is a snowball effect in this
It
industry.
is.
It's crazy how things work. Until you experience it, it's so hard to like explain to people. And like
Yeah.
you're obviously experiencing it out there. I'm slowly starting to see what's going on out here. Do you
Yeah.
uh do you do anything with the Only Golfers app, guys? Ernie and Ernie?
Yeah, so I've set up with them like we're it's kind of like um some of the events that they host, like I'm there and vice versa.
Yep.
So yeah, man, I mean we run into each other quite a bit. I've golfed with them. They're really cool dudes, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's fun. It's that whole community thing, man. Like I've gotten to know them through like multiple like the MAGA events they've done. They've set up with Mike's events through Legends,
Yep.
and then I have a few tournaments out in California Country Club in Whittier that they're going to be a part of as well. So yeah, man, it's
Awesome.
cool, man. Anytime running into those guys is a good time.
Yeah, I just had them on last week. I just downloaded the app and I had to have him
Uh-huh.
put my course on there, my local course. I was like, I hit him up. I was like, Ernie, I don't see it, man. He's like, oh, give me 5 minutes before he knew it. It was up there and everything
Yeah.
else. I was like, sweet. Because for what like we do on Sundays, we 8 guys play. We everybody plays around at the end. Everybody grabs a card. Whoever you
Yeah.
match your card with, that's your team. Lowest score wins. So like to keep track of the live action on the scorecard, like someone gets a birdie notification because we play for skins and shit like that. So it gets a little
Oh yeah, it's
interesting.
fun.
The trash talking gets up, especially once we
Yep.
start puffing around the course and shit.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
man. It's fun, man. Especially like when you're playing like foursome against foursome and like there's a hole where like they're teeing off and you're putting and you can see what they're doing and
yep.
everyone's yelling at each other. Yeah, it's fun, man.
The group text starts going off. Bing,
The
bing,
group
bing.
text start.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
comical
It's a
for
good
sure.
time.
No doubt. So yeah, you got all the events coming up. I'm gonna make sure I got everything here. So what the way I like to end it is I ask 3 questions, 3 golf related questions. Um, what's your favorite club in your bag?
Oh man, you can switch from a front nine to the back nine, man. But I would say my most reliable club is my three wood because it's my fairway finder.
Yep.
If my driver's acting up, I like to hit my driver, but if it's acting up, I can. Or in fact, if any of my clubs are, if I'm having a bad round, I feel like if I bring out my three wood and just have a good swing at it, it kind of brings my game back.
That's it. Yeah, 3 wood.
Yeah.
Mine's a 7 just because of the versatility. I can hit.
Okay. Yeah.
I can do a lot with it. Like I can hit a bump and run if I need to. I can get it out there 170, 180. Yeah,
That's good yardage for a seven.
yeah. I got some good control of
Yeah.
it. And know what's crazy is two
Uh,
years ago that was a 150-yard club. I don't know what
okay.
happened in my swing. Last year I came out same clubs, everything, and I
Yeah.
just started striking the ball better. And we were in the simulator and it was tracking like 170. I'm like, this thing's not accurate. Whatever. We get out to the course and I'm like, oh, that thing was pretty accurate, I guess, because that's right about where I was going. So
Yeah.
consistently too. It wasn't like just once in a while. And
You're flushing it.
yeah, I was hitting it flush. And my
Yeah.
biggest problem was I played baseball my whole life and I was a lefty, but I had no
Okay.
lefty golf club, so I had to teach
Uh-huh.
myself how to golf right-handed over the past 6 years. So
Wow.
yeah, it's been
Man,
a
that's pretty
process.
good, man.
Yeah, it's been a process. So I'm finally starting to get the power and the technique and all that shit behind it, opposed to just swinging as hard as I can and hoping for the best.
Man, that's a big accomplishment going from lefty to right.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
not.
from
It was crazy because
yeah.
like I didn't even know, like I still hold it like a baseball bat. Like that's
Oh, you
just
do?
my
Okay. You
yeah. I
don't do
can't.
the intertwine, the
I
interlock?
can't. It doesn't even feel.
Okay.
It hurts my hands when I do it and shit. I'm like, this is so uncomfortable. But
Yeah.
I also battle the slice a lot because of that from baseball and shit. But
Yep.
slowly figured out. I struggle off the tee probably more than anything for sure.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
remember the first time I swung, like not the first time, but when I was learning,
yeah.
I remember some guy at the range was, "Oh, you're a baseball player." And I'm like, "Wait, how do you even like why would you even say that?" I mean, you're right, but like
Yep.
and he's like, "I can just tell by your swing." And I'm like, "Really? Is it that bad?"
Yep. It's the way to
But
just swing
now
it
I know what
out.
he's talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Going
So,
out opposed to down at it. And I used to lift my
exactly.
foot up. I was always lifting my
Oh,
front
okay.
foot up, like baseball, like getting to step into it. So my one buddy, I was telling the story the other day, like literally he got so sick of watching me struggle that he like held my foot down for like 3 or 4 swings. He's like, don't move it. Don't move. It felt so weird, but eventually, like now my foot barely moves when I'm swinging, just a little tweak here and there, but
Yeah,
not like I was literally lifting it up like I was Mark McGuire, dude. It was crazy.
that's funny.
Absolutely crazy. Here's another one. What's your favorite course you ever played?
Man, my
I know you guys
favorite
got some
course
nice
I've
ones
ever.
out there in Cali.
Yeah, man. Hmm. I live by Palm Springs. Like Palm Springs is like 45 minutes away, so there are a lot of nice courses out there.
Yeah.
But my favorite one is probably Aviara out in Carlsbad.
Okay.
Yeah, it's they have the Kia Classic there for the women.
All
I think
right.
it
Yeah.
happens I think it's this month. But
Nice.
anyway, that's my favorite, man. Like with yeah, man, that's my favorite course.
Yeah. It's just the
Yeah,
views, the everything about it, right?
the
The
views,
way.
it's not on the water, but the view, I mean, the just the conditions
Yep.
beautiful and the houses and
The way it
you know
plays.
the way it
That's.
plays. Yeah, like you're in the fairway, you're not gonna. It's an actual fairway. It's like it's carpet.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what
That's
I
it.
mean? So
A patch of grass and hoping that you got to move it out of the dirt spot
yeah,
and
like
shit. Yeah.
the muni courses around here. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, and a lot of times, like if we're playing with buddies and we're not playing for money or anything, dude, you're in the fairway. Just take it out of that dirt there. Just put it on some
Exactly.
grass.
Exactly. Like that's the one thing. My buddy Anthony hates playing out of a divot, but like on Sundays we're
Hmm.
playing for money. So I'm like, bro,
Well,
unfortunately,
yeah, that's different.
you gotta
Yeah,
play it. Like if it's on, this is the our rule is if it's on like a tree stump or so, or it's gonna affect like you damaging your club, move the ball. None of us make
yeah,
enough money to go buy a brand new set of clubs every weekend. So
exactly. Yeah,
at that point, move your ball. Like if it's on a rock or something, like don't be stupid about it, but don't be too generous to yourself at the same time.
yeah. You're on the tree stump. Don't kick it in the middle of the fairway. 10
Exactly.
yards more.
Yeah. Take it back a couple feet and swing away.
Yeah, yeah.
What's one thing you want to improve on this year on the golf course?
On my golf course, man. Um, I'm gonna say to just shoot in the 70s some more. I've broken 80 a handful of times, but I want to get more consistent.
Yep.
So and then my weakness on the golf course is like my 80 to 100. When I have like something like in the way, like if it's surrounded by bunkers or like water,
Yep.
because a lot of times I like to run it up with my nine. But
Okay.
if there's obviously if there's some trouble there, I can't.
Yep.
So I got to get that yardage like right. So
Yeah, that's
the
that's just, I'm the same way. 100 and in, I struggle, especially like
hmm
even those little 20, 30 yards off the green. Like I shank my approach shot or whatever, and I'm trying to
yeah,
just land it there. I either hit it too far to where it's bumping and running, it just keeps rolling, or I try to
yeah,
get fancy and flop it up there, and then it just sits down, but I'm still sitting 15 feet away because I'm expecting the rollout, but I'm not getting it.
yeah,
That,
yeah. So
that's for
it's a
me.
crazy game, man.
It is, but it's so much fun, man. It's so much fun.
Oh,
It's
well,
not.
yeah, it's fun, man.
You could suck
Yeah,
at it and just still go out there, and it's just about the camaraderie, going out having a good time with
it
the
really
boys
is,
and
man.
shit.
Because what other things can you do with your buddies for 4 hours and just kind of like hang out, man?
That's it.
Like it just, yeah, and you just have good people around you, and yeah, it's cool, man. I
It
love it.
makes all the difference. Hey, Paul, man, I
Yeah,
really appreciate you coming on, man. If there's anything I can help you out with in the future, don't hesitate to hit me up. I'd be more than happy to have you back on. If you got
thanks,
any big
man.
events coming up or anything like that you want to promote, let me know. But where can
Yeah,
everybody find you?
Instagram, customsticks.golf. I have a website up now, www.customsticks.golf. Um, TikTok. I'm not too active on TikTok, but I do have one.
Yep.
It just doesn't really bring me customers, so I don't really post too much on there. But yeah, man, those three are the main thing. And
Awesome.
then I forgot to say one quick thing. I'm throwing a tournament with two other businesses in the area on June 1st.
Okay.
So if you're listening, watching, and you're in the Inland Empire area, we're promoting small businesses, man. We're giving out some good prizes, some
Okay.
cash prizes. We should be officially announcing it this coming weekend, but it's June 1st at Tuckwit.
Perfect. So what? Once you get it announced, if you have like a sign up or a flyer or something, send that to me. And when I'm gonna drop this probably next Wednesday, and
Cool, man.
I'll put it right in the reel for you so everybody can see it.
Cool, man. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Hey, I truly appreciate your time. Thank you everybody for tuning in to the Pitch Putt and Puff podcast. Make sure you go check out the Custom Sticks. Talk to you soon.